Hello friends, you are listening to RK, The Haunted Hour, The Abandoned Manor of Blackwood, a scary and emotional story. Ethan Carter had always been drawn to the unknown. As a freelance journalist specializing in paranormal investigations, he had explored haunted houses, eerie forests, and abandoned asylums across the United States. But nothing had prepared him for what was about to happen next at Blackwood Manor. Located on the outskirts of a small town in rural America, Blackwood Manor had stood abandoned for nearly a century. Legends spoke of a cursed family, mysterious disappearances, and ghostly figures roaming the halls at night. Local residents stayed away from the mansion at all costs, as they feared the wrath of whatever haunted its dark corridors. Ethan arrived in town on a cool October evening. The air smelled of rain, and the streets were deserted. As he arrived at the local inn, the old receptionist, Mrs. Turner, looked at him with concern. "You're here for the manor, aren't you?" she asked in a low voice. Ethan nodded. "You must leave it alone," she warned. "Many have tried to uncover its secrets, but none have returned the same." Ignoring her warning, Ethan prepared for his trip to the manor, unaware that he was about to step into a nightmare. The next morning, Ethan drove to the outskirts of town. As he approached Blackwood Manor, he felt an uneasy urge. The mansion was huge, with tall Gothic towers and broken windows. Ivy climbed its crumbling walls, and the iron doors creaked in protest when he pushed them open. Stepping inside, Ethan immediately felt the weight of the place. Dust covered every surface, and the old furniture seemed frozen in time. A huge chandelier hung precariously from the ceiling, shaking slightly when touched by some invisible force. As he set up his camera and recording equipment, he heard a faint whisper, "Help me." Ethan turned around quickly, his pulse racing. He had expected spooky voices, but this voice sounded real, desperate. He followed the voice to a grand staircase leading to the second floor. Each step groaned under his weight, and the air grew colder. He entered a dimly lit hallway, lined with portraits of the Blackwood family. Their painted eyes seemed to follow him as he walked. Then, he saw her. A young woman stood at the end of the hallway, dressed in an old-fashioned white dress. Her dark eyes held an unbearable sadness. Before Ethan could speak, she vanished. Determined to uncover the truth, Ethan searched the mansion's library. He found an old journal belonging to Eleanor Blackwood, which he had come across. As he flipped through its pages, a tragic story unfolded. Eleanor was the youngest daughter of the Blackwood family, known for their wealth and influence. However, behind their grand reputation lay a sinister secret. During the late 1800s, the family had followed dark rituals in search of immortality through forbidden means. When Eleanor discovered their horrifying deeds, she tried to escape, but her own family betrayed her, locking her in the attic, where she slowly perished. Her last entry was, "If anyone finds this, know that I did not deserve this fate. My soul is trapped here, longing for peace. Please help me." Ethan clenched his fists. Eleanor wasn't just a ghost, she was a victim, crying out for justice. Determined to help Eleanor, Ethan headed up to the attic. The door creaked open, revealing a dusty room with a small rusted bed and chains tied to the walls. The air smelled of misery. Then, the temperature dropped. A shadow emerged from the darkness, a tall, sinister figure with hollow eyes and elongated fingers. The entity was radiating pure malice. Ethan realized it was the spirit of Theodore Blackwood, Eleanor's father, and the mastermind behind the family's dark rituals. "You don't belong here," the entity said with a growl. Gathering his courage, Ethan grabbed Eleanor's journal. "You've held her captive. She deserves peace." The entity screamed, causing the whole house to shake. The pictures in the hallway cracked, and the walls groaned as if they were alive. Suddenly, Eleanor appeared next to Ethan. "It's over, Dad," she whispered. With those words, a brilliant light engulfed the room. The entity, shrouded in darkness, began to scream as it was pulled into the abyss, leaving only silence behind. Eleanor looked up at Ethan, her eyes filled with gratitude. "Thank you," she said softly, and then dissolved into the light. As Ethan stepped out of the mansion, the sun was rising, casting a golden glow over the once dreadful mansion. The air felt lighter, as if the curse had finally been lifted. Ethan knew he hadn't just unraveled a ghost story, he had given a lost soul the peace it craved. Walking away, he took one last look at Blackwood Manor, now just an abandoned house whose horrors had been dispelled. For the first time in a century, it was truly relaxing. Friends, if you like this story, then do like it, subscribe to our channel, and do not forget to share this video with your friends. Your opinion matters a lot to us, so do comment and tell us how you like this story. It is only with your support that we get the inspiration to bring even more great and exciting stories. So see you in the next video, where another mysterious and exciting story will be waiting for you. Till then, thanks and stay safe.